Breaking news, we're halfway through the season.
We made it.
Oh, yeah. Another edition of the Gentleman Fantasy Football Podcast. It's me, your host, Kyle Rutka, and I'm here with my buddy, Robert Rushlow.
Hey, what does it cost to add video to this?
Let's not do it.
Okay, fair enough.
Too much bandwidth. But yes, we could. In fact, Spotify has been nailing me with, you can do video podcasts. And I was like, absolutely not. That's way too much work.
No, we need to get it to at least the double-digit followers before we do something that crazy.
Right? Let's not do that. We are halfway through the season, and you know what that means. We need to do mid-season awards.
Yes.
Mid-season awards. You want to go first, or you want me to go first? Now, these aren't necessarily awards. These are just shit that we're going to talk about. But you go first.
Well, I'll start because I feel like you weren't going to give yourself an award. Although, if anybody in this league would give themselves an award, it would be you.
Of course.
But I'm going to give you the Didn't Lose Hope Award for bouncing back.
I'm
stacking
back.
Up some wins.
I am back.
Winning without a kicker or a defense last week. Just incredible.
and a quarterback and a tight end, by the way.
Yeah, you're a Jamar Chase away from being a lost cause. But
I played Zach 5-on-8 because he had a guy
took
you
down the best player in the league record-wise.
I don't know what was going on there.
It's
it
the equivalent
of
the Jets spanking the Bills or something. It was pretty neat to watch, especially being the person trying to catch up in this division.
Yeah. No, I mean, I'll briefly go over the situation that happened last week. So I tried to pick up 3 different kickers and 3 different defenses on Thursday. I couldn't get any of them. I only have $18 left. I wasn't going to spend money on a bye week fill-in at kicker or defense with only having $18 left. So I tried to pick up another kicker on Sunday. I didn't get it. I didn't even try for a defense because I didn't trust any of the defenses that were out there, and I didn't want to get negative points. So I'm like, you know what? Los has basically got a full lineup. He's one of the top 2 or 3 teams. I'm not gonna blow anything by dumping somebody, because by the way, my whole team was on bye except for 2 players on my bench, and one of those 2 players I didn't want to give up. One was Tony, and he was hurt. I'm thinking to myself, you know what? I'll go in down 2 guys. I'm gonna lose by 50 anyways. What's the difference? The games start. Sam Darnold has a negative 1.6 and gets pulled after halftime. This is really going bad. Lois has Sterling Shepard, who's a game time decision that got scratched. So he's like, well, I'm down a guy too. At 1:40 p.m. on Sunday, and this is something we got to talk about here too, ESPN's inconsistency with doing the updates on players is starting to drive me absolutely insane. They have Adam Schefter. They have Twitter. They have all this stuff going on. They have all the internet, okay? And Darren Waller can get hurt at practice on Friday. Have it be noted, but have him not be listed as questionable, or even, supposedly he was on the injury report, but ESPN did not list him as on the injury report. Nothing came up until 1:40 p.m. on Sunday, which is after waivers and after the first round of games started. So if he's playing the 3 o'clock game, you're fucking screwed. You're locked into him. There's nothing you can do about it. And then in that blurb at 1:40 p.m., the blurb said Waller was put on the injury report on Saturday. And I'm like, well, Jesus Christ, if he was put in the injury report on Saturday, why the fuck didn't you put it on there so I would know to pick someone up?
Hold on. Pump the brakes here.
I'm pumping brakes.
So you're telling me that you weren't willing to lose someone like Tony, who had one decent game, even though you have a pile of wideouts that are fine and better than him, to fill in your roster to get a win, a much needed win. But Darren Waller, that's where you draw the line. You would have dropped anybody to make sure that you had a tight
No,
end.
I'm just saying, someone in my position, because I wouldn't have dropped it. Yeah, I would have been screwed in that situation either way. But I'm just saying, not specifically me, but the fact that this, have you noticed this has been happening a lot lately? I feel like guys end up on the injury report that this has got to be the second or third time I remember this happening this year. Because like
Right.
Sterling Shepard wasn't listed as questionable,
Well,
and
I think
they
what they're
yanked
doing
him
is,
and they yanked him pre-game.
yeah, I think they're manipulating the fact that they can kind of wait to release things like injuries and everything like that to the last minute,
But I
so
mean,
that the other teams don't have a chance to game plan.
But that was the whole point of the injury report, was that you had to list people with injuries, and the reason that started was the gambling situation back in
Yeah,
like the 70s or 80s.
I don't know. But what I do know is that the highest ranking tight end available on waivers and the highest ranking defense available on waivers averages about the same amount of points. So your argument is still bullshit that you were willing to
I didn't
make a move
say
for
that.
a tight end and not for a kicker or defense.
I know I did not say that. I'm not arguing that I would have dropped him or picked someone up. I am just saying I think it's absolute bullshit that they put out a blurb at 1:40 p.m. on Sunday saying that he was on the injury report on Saturday. Why
I think
wasn't
it's bullshit that you hung on to Tony? That's what I think.
Why do you think he's terrible?
I don't think he's worth starting nobody at kicker or defense. I don't think the difference in his value on your roster equaled leaving two blank spaces against Los.
Why does it
who
matter?
you had
I was
no business beating.
Dude, I was gonna lose to Los by 50 anyways. He had a full team, and
But you
all
didn't.
of
What
my
if that
whole
was
starting
closer?
lineup was on bye. I was
What if that
blowing
was a
this week
closer game?
anyways.
You could have. What if you lost by 3 points? You're like, ah, shit. All I had to do was pick up the fucking
Yeah, tough
Titans
shit. That's
and
the way.
roll them
That
out.
was a decision that I made.
It was a bad decision.
I'm sorry that I
Bad.
beat him.
Bad, Kyle.
Look, I'm sorry that I beat him, but you should be happy about that.
I am. I'm just saying, it's ridiculous. That
I think it's perfect.
No Waller, no kicker, no defense, and you beat the best guy in the league. This goes back to my frustration that I can know everything there is to know about football, and it does not matter. It's a fucking lottery, and I'm gonna get beat by the biggest idiots in the world.
Absolutely.
Football wise, you're all every one of you very intelligent people, not taking shots at you as people, but as football analysts, not good. Very not good. Just saying.
By the way, I also love the fact that you lost to Luke last week.
I was gonna wait on that, but if you want to unpack that now, we can.
Because Luke's team's not good.
Luke thought he was going to lose to me so bad that he was actually daring me not to start a quarterback because Dak was on bye. He's like, hey, if you want to make it interesting, you should just leave your quarterback spot blank. That's how bad he thought he was going to lose. And then, of course, because it's me and because someone is just tormenting me up in the high heavens.
Right.
And decided that I have to play the only person in the league that could have possibly beat me last week in Luke of all people. Like it just drives me nuts. Like we spent all year making fun of him. And then I got to lose to him. I lost sleep over this.
So let's quickly talk about what's happened the first half of the season, the standings, and how things are shaking out, and how the rule change is going to impact this, the playoff rule change. Because now we're doing... Actually, you know what? I surely looked that up.
Well, I know I took a big step in high points, that's for sure.
Right. So I believe... God damn it, I can't remember. I got to look at the book. I believe it's 2 wild card spots and 1 high point spot. Am I right on that?
Yeah, I
Okay.
think so.
So there's because of that, it's getting like really interesting. Now I don't know how we do this every year, but there's always one division that's absolute dog shit, and another division that's good, and then one division that's like right in the middle.
Yeah, Chachi is the relative dog shit
The
division.
dog shit division is the Chachi division.
2 teams still in 500 points for.
Correct. Yeah. So I mean, Ed and Andrew pretty much done. By the way, and we'll talk about the playoff percentage thing here because I don't understand how they calculate that.
More than pretty much.
What's that?
I said more than pretty much done. By the way, I am currently leading in points for after this week.
And see, and that's what I like. So now I am cheering. My best case scenario is for you to suck record wise, but to have a lot of points. Okay? Because I need you to finish below me record wise.
You can below me.
I need you to finish below me record wise, but have high points for me to get in the playoffs. It's like literally the only way.
Well, first off, I'm not losing this week because I'm playing Joby. Second off,
Don't say that.
I thought your whole conquest in life was for me to do as bad as humanly possible. Didn't we record a podcast like years ago where you were like, dude, if I'm out of it, my only goal in life is to cheer against you. I believe you said that word for word.
Well, no, in this situation, so I'm kind of screwed because I'm still 2 games behind Travis and Lowe's, and you're high in points, but I'm only a game up on you. But if you and I tie, I lose to you automatically because I don't think there's any way I'll ever be able to catch up to you in point. I'm 150 points behind you.
Well, no, because I have the best team in the league and I'm getting fucked all the time.
Well, you know, Kral might argue with you on that one.
Yeah, well, tell Carl to trade away some more of his best players, and we'll see how that goes for him.
By the way, I like Kral's team name change. Bad Mother Tucker. That's a good one.
Yes.
I like that.
Say he listens to the podcast enough so that he decided to drop in the comments that on that kicker bet, he's up 38 points on me.
It's pretty crazy.
Guess that was a bad one. I guess, like I said, I'm a deck injury away from going 0-3 on those bets. Because Lamb is kicking the shit out of
I was
Cooper,
just going to
too.
say, yeah.
By the way, Zach mentioned he has no idea about the Winkler thing. We might actually have to do some research to figure out how we came up with that.
Right. How did this happen? Nobody knows how it happened.
I don't think I came up with it.
I don't know. It wasn't me.
I made the trophy, but I feel like we had somebody.
No, but there was a reason. Somebody was like, there
Right.
needs to be a trophy with Fonzie on the top. And we tried really hard to get a trophy made that had like a sculpture of Fonzie on it. In fact,
Yeah,
I
that
tried
was
to buy
impossible.
a Fonzie figurine, and we couldn't get one.
I talked to multiple trophy makers in the valley here, and it was just not. It wasn't feasible. So I put that shitty sticker on one of the little award things. It was the best I could do. You're welcome, everybody. I did my best.
But yeah,
I'm an artist.
these standings. So in the Fonzie division, we got Travis and Los and you. So, you know, Travis and Los are both 5-2. You're 4-3. I'm 3-4. Now, playoff percentage wise, it says that Los and Travis are 77-78%. You, however, are a 91% chance to make the playoffs.
Shocking.
I don't know how they figure this out, aside from the fact that you are leading everyone in high points, so you'd win every tiebreaker. So
Projections have me kicking ass. They map out all the player points ahead of time. That what's his name, the guy from ESPN that does all the numbers. They project every player's scores against matchups and adjust them as they need to, and those points it's all automated.
Interesting. Well, anyways, you got a 91% chance of making the playoffs according to that. which I kind
I'll
of
fuck
agree
it
with.
up.
Which I kind of agree with, because the way we changed the playoff picture, if there are 4 good teams in a division, those 4 teams can make the playoffs. You know, because
There's not 4 good teams in my division. There's
well, I
3,
mean,
and then there's you.
I'm making a comeback.
That's fine. And keep telling yourself that.
I'm on a roll here. I'm just gonna keep churning out wins. I'm gonna keep coming back. We got this. I have a 51% chance of making the playoffs, which is 1% greater than half.
1% better than average.
Which you
slightly larger than average percent chance.
Which you would think is absolutely ridiculous, since I'm 3-4 and dead last in my division, and I have 2 juggernauts in front of me and one also very good team. Also,
yeah, you just better hope to God that Jamar Chase just keeps being unbelievable.
Also, there's in the Richie division, Jason and Ryan are both 5-2, and both have an 83 and 85% chance of making the playoffs. So if you start doing the math on who can all make the playoffs, there's 3 teams with the over 75% chance in one division, another 2 over 80% chance in another division, and then Steve at an 80% chance in the Chachi division. The fact that I have a 51% chance in 4th place is pretty weird.
It is impressive.
Luke has a 45% chance being 2nd place in the Chachi division, and then there's the other guys, which I think is kind of interesting, because if you look at Krawl's scoring, okay, maybe not. I started looking at the points against. Krawl doesn't have that many points against him. But
Yeah,
again,
I'm trying to look at the stats here too. Sorry if I'm being quiet here. I'm trying to get some numbers up here real quick.
I mean, what we really need to do, Lois needs to do the power rankings and strength schedule again, because if you look at, like, Travis, for instance, has 742 points, which is pretty good, but then he's only got 596 against. Zach's got 684, which isn't that good, but he's only got 519 against. 519 is the lowest points against of any team. So, you know, Zach's 5-2, but he doesn't have very many points scored against him.
Right. It's a weak ass 5-2, Los. You heard me.
You know, and Travis's points against are on the low end, and that's how you get a good record, right?
Can't even hand a guy the best tight end in football and expect him to be good.
Jason has 748. He's got 642 against. So that's pretty good both ways. Ryan 698 and 629. That's kind of middle of the pack. Then you got Krawl, who has 735 points for, which is like 1, 2, 3, fourth place in scoring. Okay, but he's got 739 against, which is 1, 2, which is
it's
the
like
second.
playing against
It's
me
the
every
second most points against, and actually third most points against, because even though Ed's 0-7, he's got an absurd amounts of points scored against him.
Good.
He's got 835 points scored against him.
Good.
Which is
good. Take that, Ed. Don't even care. I know you're not listening.
Which is 50 more points against him than any single team has scored all season. The only downfall to that, like, it's hard to feel bad for him because he's only scored 590 points.
Right. Just like it's hard to feel good for Ryan being 5-2 with all Vikings, not having showed up for his own draft. You have no business where you are either. Mad at both of you. Quit sending people to do your drafts.
The point I'm trying to make by all this, though, is there's 4 teams that, according to ESPN, are basically done. One is Justin. He's 3-4. One is Crawl, who's 2-5, which, I mean, I guess he's 3 games behind, but he's in a good spot scoring-wise. So if he could catch up on some games, I don't know, maybe he could catch up scoring-wise, or he's there scoring. I don't know. I don't get it. But the two of them got a 4 and a 3% chance at the playoffs. Andrew's got
the way I look at it, if you have a less than 5% chance, according to analytics, probably not looking very good for you. just based
which is a bummer
on
for Crawl because he's scoring a lot of points. I don't get it.
Every measurable way says you're going to lose.
And then,
but hey, you got a great kicker apparently.
Right. Well, I mean, and then you got Depry, who's 4-3, has a 45% chance of making the playoffs, but he's only scored 636 points. And
after beating me, who is ESPN?
Well, hold on.
With his
but that's the thing. So he scored 140 some points last week, and he still only got 636 points, which is one of the lowest in the league. He's got
amazing.
He's got 721 against him, and he's still 4-3.
So frustrating.
That's pretty ridiculous, isn't it? That he can be 4-3.
No, Kyle. No, I have no idea if that's ridiculous or not. Having watched it, that whole thing. Anyways.
Oh.
Tell me more about Luke.
Well. Oh man, I've been there were so many drops we could have been doing in there.
Yeah, we didn't start the podcast earlier because Kyle's like, "Ooh, I got to download some drops." Haven't heard one yet. Besides also, I need more hamburgers whiskey. Entrance. Also, I need more whiskey. Oh God! Wow.
That's one of
you weren't kidding. You made actual drops. I guess I'll drink some whiskey then.
Oh well, then, since I missed all the drop opportunities.
Did you make drops just to make fun of me being an alcoholic? That's terrible. Also, I need more whiskey.
Anyways, so I'm just gonna recap there.
Man, you are one pathetic loser.
And that right there, that is my buddy Ed. Holy shit, it's Ed.
Oh, you did it.
I did do it. That's what I was doing.
The simultaneous holy shit drop. I loved that.
Anyways, Ed, you are one pathetic loser. You're 0-7. You have a 0% chance of making the playoffs. Congratulations, buddy.
ESPN said it is actually impossible for you to win. You should probably stop managing your team. Oh, wait. That already happened. But
Shirley,
hey, we could actually follow through.
I am serious. And don't call me Shirley.
We could actually follow through with making Aaron a co-owner of his team. So
we should.
He can watch the league. I mean, he has nothing to lose now, right?
Oh, speaking of Aaron, I have a Baby Gate update.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. I talked to him over the weekend. And you see, over the weekend, him and Steph and the girls went on a brewery extravaganza. Where they went to a whole bunch of breweries. He's got like a card thing that, like, if you go to these breweries and show this card, you can get free shit. And he had to use a bunch of them up before the end of the year. Anyway, I asked him, I said, hey, you guys were at a bunch of breweries. I bet, you guys were feeling good at the end of the night. Did you guys do anything? And apparently he told her, yeah, Steph, we can't tonight just because I got some board bets I got to settle for this podcast. It's some research to do.
He must have been drunk.
There. By the way, there was a clamoring after we aired that podcast that we should do Aaron as a weekly guest, and he can do his favorite beer of the week minute.
Ooh, nice. And the how I'm dodging knocking up my wife.
Yes. All the different excuses I can give her for not fulfilling my duties.
Man, that is the exact opposite of what I would do. I'd be like, let's go. This is going to be the best few weeks of my life.
Oh, yeah?
I mean, that's how I treated it the first 3 times.
Yeah, but, you guys aren't having kids anymore.
No.
there something we need to know?
No. There's no. Like how you hit the drop. No. That is not happening.
So you're not.
No. Jesus.
Dang.
Well, coming from you, hold on a second. Are you
What?
sure you're not? Are you having some kids?
No. We're done.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
How's that going, by the way? How many kids are in your house now? 6, 12, 28?
No. We shaved it from 8 down to 4.
Okay.
So we're back to the originals. And
The OGs.
it's been going smoothly, for the last couple of weeks.
Well, you got to make roster cuts after the first few weeks of the season.
And it's funny. Nicole was like, because we being foster parents, respite, whatever, you get paid, and we never really thought about like, oh yeah, you get paid, because normally we just take like one kid overnight for like one night on a weekend, so it's
Sure.
usually only a couple bucks. So we had these kids for a couple of weeks, and we had 4 of them, and then we had another one, for a couple of weeks after that, and Nicole got the check, and she's like, "Can you believe how much we got for that?" And I was like, "Oh, I suppose that makes sense why, these deadbeat people don't have jobs and they're just foster parents and they have like 12 kids and they just stack them up like cordwood in a bedroom and, make them take care of each other while they sit on the couch and watch TV." And then Nicole was like, I was thinking, if I didn't have a job, we could just foster full time. And I was like, what are you trying to say? She was like, well, nothing. I'm like, we are not having 8 kids in this house. It's not happening.
Good God. There's no amount of money you can pay me to
No,
want to deal with that
Absolutely
all the time.
not.
But it is funny how all these, what do you call it, wholehearted causes are just giant money grabs. Foster care, respite care, the Catholic Church, all this other stuff. Like, it's just, hey, here's something where it should just be about being a good person. Give us some money for it.
Yeah, all churches are
I should
bullshit.
get paid for being really good at heart.
You should. And that's the whole
Sorry.
reason you're doing it.
Sorry, rant over. Don't get me started.
What the heck are you
Anyways.
guys doing? Trying to ruin my life and make me look like a friggin' idiot?
Can we go back to making fun of Ed?
Uncle Rico.
Okay, what was that?
I said, can we go back to making fun of Ed?
Yeah, let's do it. Holy shit, it's Ed.
Oh, man. Hey, Kyle had to step away from the thing real quick to grab some, what I'm assuming is nothing relating to this podcast. Well, I got you to myself. The Gentleman podcast is sponsored by Sugar Rushlow. Go online and type in Fantasy Football 2021 to get a 1% discount
1%.
on all clothing and accessories available at Sugar Rushlow.
And this is 100% fact. You can go in the store and you can give them that promo code and Nicole will give you a 1% discount. You can go online to sugarrushlow.com and you can get that.
Yes, you don't even have to see us. But if you come in store and say you listen to the podcast, she might be sort of surprised because I think I told her nobody actually listens, and this is just for me to hang out with Kyle.
Now, we're gonna one up this.
2125 South Safer Street, Appleton.
We're gonna one up this. So, Sugar Rushlow has agreed that
The 2%.
No.
I'm just kidding.
That for
Speaking of money grab,
for every $1,000 that is made at sugarrushlow.com, while using our promo code, we will get 1 bottle of Old Crow whiskey to drink on air.
wow.
That's right. So do your part. Go to sugarrushlow.com. When we get to $1,000, Nicole will buy us a bottle of Old Crow whiskey. So it is up to you to make sure that we are in with our whiskey.
So $1,000 just so I know how to track this.
Yes.
$1,000 spent using the promo code, not
Correct.
saved by using it, but spent
Spent while using the promo code.
Because I have to have Nicole plug this into her system so I can
so-
actually track
So
it.
for every $1,000 spent while using our promo code, Nicole will buy us
A bottle of Old
a
Crow
bottle of Old Crow whiskey,
to drink
which
in this
I
podcast.
which I believe is like $8.75 a bottle.
Sounds like a deal. Current status on that, we are at $0. Nobody has used the promo code yet.
There's always time.
There is. Can't wait to see you guys show up and support.
As George Bluth would say, there's always money in the banana stand.
That's right. Don't burn it down. We were giving out awards there, and then we got off on a huge tangent.
Yeah,
I
okay.
gave you one award, and then it got way into other shit.
You
What do
gave
have
me
for
an
awards?
award? What, you gave me an award?
Yeah, I said you won the Resiliency Award for coming back from almost certain doom.
Well, we already talked about my first award. The You Are One Pathetic Loser Award goes to Ed.
Oh, yes, definitely. Let's actually make an award for that one that I can give him. Nothing foul. That's just it. I just want to make an award. There's not like this big. I might throw confetti too. I'm gonna put it on him, and then I'm gonna pull confetti out of my pocket and just throw it in his face.
My next award was the How the Hell Did They Do That award, and it goes to two people simultaneously, which we already talked about, which is Luke being 4-3, being outscored by like 100 points on the season, and the fact that Kral is 2-5 but has 730 some points scored.
Yeah, I really didn't want to revisit the Luke thing, but yeah, how the hell did he do that with that shit team?
I don't get it.
Anyways,
all right, what's your next award?
I had one. Hold on. Okay. I don't understand how that worked, but hey, good job award goes to Ryan, but not really Ryan, for showing that you can have an entire team as your fantasy team, be on one NFL team, and still do okay. This is a rare occurrence where I'm going to admit I was not wrong, but I guess slightly incorrect, because even though the Vikings had a bye, I think he still won. My biggest thing was, how the fuck are you going to figure out bye weeks? But I think the week that he didn't have his Vikings, he might have still won. Let me check to make sure I'm not crazy.
Last week.
Yeah. Winston, Booker, Dearness Johnson, of course, who went crazy. Renfro, Landry, who he outbidded me for. Higbee, Marquise Brown, who's actually the fifth best wide receiver.
You could have argued that for me too. And the week that all my guys were on bye, I won also.
Yeah, but he actually filled his roster. He wasn't a reckless dipshit about it. Yeah, I mean, his whole team, his whole starting roster was on bye. The only starter he had that wasn't on bye was Saquon Barkley, who was hurt. So literally, he replaced his entire fucking team and won. It was really cool. Just saying.
Wait, that was cool, but me winning with 5 guys wasn't cool enough for you?
No, that was stupid. This is fantasy football. Fill your roster next time. You have bitched ad nauseum about people doing that exact same thing.
No. I complain about people who just don't set their rosters. This was this was a strategic move. This was a strategic move.
Oh my God.
What?
They could have said the same thing and you'd have been like, no, it's not. You're just lazy. You weren't paying attention.
Look, when you pick up a guy on Sunday
and they'd be like, yeah, but I won.
No, when you pick up a guy on Sunday to replace a player.
Also, I need more whiskey.
When you pick up a guy on Sunday to replace a player that's on bye in your lineup, and then you just never change the players. That's the stuff that gets me upset.
Oh, okay. Anyways, I get to choose the awards I give out, and I'm giving Ryan a cool guy award for what he did, not you. I have a top 5 wide receiver.
I thought you had a vendetta against Ryan.
award.
I didn't think you could give him a cool guy award.
Look, I told you I'm willing to admit when I'm slightly wrong. I'm not saying he's going anywhere in the league this year. It was just a neat thing to see, all right?
Well, I mean, it looks like he's going to the playoffs. That's somewhere.
Good. He can go head-to-head with me and get his ass kicked. Like everyone else. I have 3 of the top 5 wide receivers right now. Most of my entire lineup is top 10. You're all going the fuck down. I'm done with the bullshit.
Ironically, you know who one of the top 5 receivers is that isn't on your team?
Yeah, Jamar Chase.
It's Jamar
Marquise
Chase.
Brown.
Jamar Chase, the guy that coming into the season, everyone was like, he can't catch a football.
In everyone's defense, he couldn't catch a football. It was
ridiculous.
Off his fucking hands.
He legitimately was. Oh,
people can only observe what they see and say, "Hey, look at that! He couldn't catch a football."
Fun NFL fact of the week. Did you see this? Tom Brady threw his 600th touchdown pass.
Yes.
Okay? Mike Evans caught it. He then walked the ball to the back of the end zone and handed it off to a fan.
Yep.
Of course, after that, Tom Brady decided, hey, that was my 600th touchdown. I really want that ball. So they sent a team worker over to the guy in the front row and said, hey, Tom would really like that ball. We'll work with you here. They negotiated a deal where, he got a couple of tickets and, $1,000 voucher or something to.
Oh, he got way more than that. So he got season tickets, 2 season tickets for the rest of the season. He got 1 Bitcoin. He got a signed Tom Brady. No, it was 2 signed Tom Brady jerseys, a signed Mike Evans jersey, and there was something else in there too. I cracked up when I saw the Bitcoin thing, but that was what he wanted, and they gave him all of it. So he got a year's worth of season tickets.
What is a Bitcoin worth?
Like $13,000.
Okay, so
probably more.
So then after the game, one of the brokers was interviewed from one of the clearinghouses or the merchandise auction houses, okay? And that guy said, "Oh, I can't believe he gave that ball back. Do you realize that if that went up for auction today, that'd be like a $500,000 ball?"
Yeah. So he probably should have just kept the ball.
He should have kept the ball.
Two signed jerseys and a helmet from Brady, a signed Mike Evans jersey and his game cleats, $1,000 credit at the team store, 2 season tickets, and the Bitcoin. There you go. Pretty cool though. Just for standing there.
I think I would have held out for a little more than that.
Well,
that was a $500,000 ball.
Maybe. I mean, what if he plays for another 10 years and gets to 700 touchdowns? Does that depreciate the value?
No, because he could have turned around and sold it the next day for that $500,000.
Yeah, I suppose.
Because you're not going to keep it. You know what I mean?
He's a good fan. I bet you Tommy reached out to him in person, was like, "Hey man, it's Tom Brady."
Supposedly after that comment, that was made about the $500,000, someone asked Tom about it, and Tom says, "Oh, don't worry, I'm gonna take care of him."
Is that like a night out with Giselle, or is that...
I don't know. I mean, I'm assuming he's not going to give him $500,000.
Just take Giselle for a week. All yours.
Just take her for a week.
I need that football bad.
Just take her around the block, will you?
Whoa. I mean, I heard part of the whole TB12 method is not ejaculating. So, I mean, I don't know what Giselle's been up to.
I don't
Sorry
even,
again.
I don't
if you
even
have
know
kids
where to,
while
I don't
listening
even
to the
know where to
podcast, and
comment
always-
with that one.
Did I mention I need more whiskey? Also, I need more whiskey. I'm actually going to get some. Fill for time, Kyle.
Oh, great. This has been another recording brought to you by the Gentleman family of podcasts. If you're enjoying the podcast you're listening to, you can listen to other favorite podcasts such as The Gentleman Do Dallas, The Gentleman in Space, The Gentleman Go to White Castle. These are all other selections you can listen to on the Gentleman Podcast Network, a department of the Gentleman Co. Trademarked 2021.
What did I miss?
Absolutely nothing.
Oh, good. Just like the fans like it.
We just sat here in silence for the last 4 minutes.
Oh, neat. Say that's the way it is. Without me, what is this podcast?
Let's talk about the season going forward. How do you feel if you had to pick the 6 playoff teams right now? Who would they be, and who would be in the top 2 spots?
Ooh. All right. Well, give me the. Oh man. Give me, Zach, Jason, Steve for sure. I guess I have to put Ryan in there. And you. And I got Travis just losing out for the rest of the year
Ooh.
due to an injury to Aaron Rodgers.
Aaron Rodgers.
And yeah, that's all I got. Those are my teams that I'm for sure. I'm calling it. Rodgers gets hurt, Travis loses out, and the teams I mentioned.
Huh.
What do you got?
Well,
Did I surprise you there?
yes. Aaron Rodgers injury. By the way, I was looking
Yeah,
on
fuck
I
that
was
guy.
looking on the internet today.
I'm still mad at him.
And so some of these ridiculous articles, like when you flip open Google and it's just like, here's the whatever headlines, okay? And a lot of times it'll be like the one trade the Packers should make before the trade deadline. And it'll be like something ridiculous, And normally it's from like a bullshit website, like 247 Sports or whatever. Like you have no idea who these writers are.
The Gentleman Fantasy Podcast.
Yeah,
right?
exactly. Today, Yahoo Sports. So I'm like, oh, this is a legit article.
I've heard of those guys.
So it was like Packers trade that could happen before the trade deadline. I'm like, okay, this is Yahoo. This has got to be legit. Click on it. If the Packers want to commit to Aaron Rodgers, this is
Rodgers
the one
for Kyler Murray.
This is the one trade they could make to show their commitment to Aaron Rodgers. And I was like, okay, you got me. This is a legit website. I want to see this. Scroll down. Trade Jordan Love. I'm like, what? To who?
Oh my God.
What for?
Who's gonna give him anything?
Who wants
Like-
him?
It's like, okay, we traded Jordan Love. Oh, what'd you get back?
Nothing.
We-
Yeah,
we
so
just
we
gave
got-
him
we
away.
got
Will you stay,
nothing.
please?
Yeah, we got nothing for Jordan Love, which would be, admitting that they fucked up on that draft pick.
Yeah,
what
there's
would
too
be
much
worse?
that would have to happen.
Just giving Rodgers the job and letting him hang around and being like, Love's not the guy, and
The
having
only
Love
possible
there.
way he would stay is if you made him the quarterback and the general manager. You'd have to fire Gutekunst, trade Love, and say, okay, Aaron, you're the quarterback and the GM. You happy?
What
And
do
then
you
he
think
would
has
be
to
okay.
happen this year for him to come back?
Nothing. Even if he won the Super Bowl, he'd leave.
Think so?
Yes, I really do. I think it's unfixable. I think his little drama fest was too committed. Like, no matter what they give him, he has to leave or he looks like the hypocrite. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
He renegotiated his contract and everything so he could have control over where he went. Like, he committed to leaving. You won't have him next year. You can bet your life on it. Otherwise, he looks like a giant asshole. And I guarantee
So are
his
we getting
agent,
Buck season
his
tickets
stupid
then?
girlfriend, everybody in his life is telling him, well, you kind of have to leave now. So,
Man, I don't know.
just saying.
I mean, they're not going to win the Super Bowl. By the way, did you see all the wide receivers are now on the COVID list?
Yeah, not to mention all the injured defensive players. I mean, this would have been a great year if we had
But
Zedarius and
Adams,
Preston Smith.
Adams and Lazard are both on the COVID list for Thursday night.
Yeah, where we happen to be going against the best team
Yeah.
in football.
Uh-huh.
Hey, but we have Aaron Rodgers, man.
Yeah.
MVP,
Hey,
right? Best
maybe
player in football.
maybe
he can
Randall
just
Cobb will
some of
catch
that
2
talent.
balls. Maybe this is Cobb's game.
I already dropped his ass.
Everybody dropped his ass.
I mean, I didn't need him. I have 3 of the top 5 wideouts.
Of course. Your team is so good.
It's so good. It is so good, Kyle, that at the end of the year, I will put together a presentation about how no one will ever do this good again. And then somebody will do that immediately the next
year.
I'll never forget
Speaking of past seasons,
Kyle and Steve.
starting next week, we are going to
Breaking news.
Starting next week, we will be doing a new segment on the Gentleman Fantasy Podcast. Instead of previewing games, because with as infrequent as we actually post this, a lot of times by the time we post this, games have already started, or people will listen. By the time people listen to it, most people listen to this while they're working or something to that effect.
Insert Kyle's excuse to not post the podcast for a week after recording it.
Yes. But I mean, if
Today is 26 October for everyone listening. He'll delete that.
I'll post this for my birthday, yes. Anyway, the time-sensitive stuff, to me, sucks. I hate that. So I enjoy listening to sports podcasts, but like Bill Simmons has one of my favorite podcasts of all time. But if I miss a podcast, like if I miss the Friday podcast, I don't even bother listening to it, because 3/4 of that podcast is him talking about football going into that weekend, and I don't give a shit about anything that happened or that they talk about prior to the games, because if I already saw what happened, I don't want to listen to them talking about, well, this could happen, or what if that happens, or blah, blah, blah. Like, no, I don't fucking care. So with that thought in mind, from now on, starting next week through the rest of the season, we will go back in time and select one season each week to do a short, deep dive into that season and talk about the teams, the players, the players that were good that year, the run to the playoffs, who won the championship, who should have won the championship, which Robert is going to say is him every year.
Not every year, but there's a couple for sure.
And then just have a few comments on it, because we've been doing this for 10 plus years, and there have been some pretty interesting years. Kind of like the year that I just took the league by storm.
Yeah, it'll be fun. Like really, just imagine, because it's funny. Like it was only 10, 13, 15 years, whatever it may be, but going back and hearing names that you completely forgot about.
Right, I know.
Like, holy crap, that's right. LaDainian Tomlinson and Jason Witten and TJ Hushmanzada and just all these fucking random ass names that you're just like, oh my God, that's right. That was a guy who was really good.
Mm-hmm.
It'll be fun.
I know. I was thinking about some of the and that's where I came up with this idea. Was I can't remember. I was listening to a podcast and someone was talking about like, man, remember when the top? Oh, they were talking about the running backs in Baltimore.
Ray Rice?
No, the three running backs in Baltimore: Latavius Murray, Devontae Freeman, and Le'Veon Bell.
Le'Veon Bell, yeah.
And they were talking about it in the Ringer fantasy football podcast, and they jokingly called them the Expendables 3. And they were like, just think, 5 years ago, these three guys were literally 3 top 10 running backs.
Yeah, they were the best in the sport. Like,
and now we're making fun of them as the Expendables
2 of those 3.
3.
You were winning the league.
These 3 guys are only playing because the Ravens have had 4 freaking injuries to their running backs. None of them were signed before the year.
Yeah, it'll be a lot of fun. I can't wait to go back and get that because you know me, I'm a nerd about this stuff. I'm gonna have a blast with this one.
I think this is gonna be fun. So
revisiting some of the old names is gonna be a great time.
And it'll be good for some of the people like Aaron who listen to this podcast to get kind of an understanding of why, we dislike, or I shouldn't say we, you dislike Ryan and I'm annoyed with Travis and why we make fun of Ed every year.
Yes, our newer followers will get a nice deep historical perspective of my tortured past to understand, like, why is Robert so salty all the time? I don't understand what his problem is. Well, here's 15 years worth of reasons why.
So, all right, let's wrap this thing up here with a little family circle.
Oh, yeah. Jerk it off. I mean, start it up.
You want me to go first?
I don't actually have one because I've spent 0 time with my family this week.
Perfect.
I had to flip the recruiter switch to on, which means I have spent a total of like 4 hours inside my house in the last like 7 days. And
okay, see,
it's not winning me a lot of points.
So this is a fun
to be
point.
Sitting here in the basement recording a podcast when I've seen my wife for virtually none of that time.
So this is a fun point to make about Robert here. You see, in exactly half of the year, Robert talks about, oh, yeah, I'm a recruiter. I don't have to do shit and blah, 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 blah. And I barely work. I just fuck off all the time. And then all of a sudden, like, one day comes and the switch has to flip and he's like, oh, fuck, I've been fucking off for 3/4 of the year. I actually have to do something now. I got to make my numbers. Fuck, it's November. Oh, God. When, most of us just work all year.
Yes, to give a realistic summary of what he just said, I can only recruit during the time when there's school in session.
Wait. Why?
Well, I mean, I can recruit outside of that, but there's really, what am I going to do? Go walk along the beach and try to find people to recruit? So I do most of my work between October and let's call it February, right? When school's in full swing, I get in there, I do gym programs, I do all kinds of different briefings and things like that.
So what do you do the other months of the year?
I fuck off.
All right.
I'm serious.
And so, that's like, normal?
I work when the weather sucks ass. I have a quota, right? They say, whatever, enlist this many people. I get to that number, and then come whatever it is, May, June, and I hit that number. I have literally nothing to do till like, I don't know, 1st of October, because that's when the mission year restarts. So yeah, I fuck off for most of summer and going into the fall, and then I go back to work.
They literally don't expect you to do anything during the summer.
Well, I'm really good at this. Not to brag, and I'm serious. I'm not bragging, but I am actually really good at this. It takes a lot of recruiters the whole year to get to the number.
I find this rather funny because I remember when you were just, fucking GI Rob.
Yes, it sucked.
You were like, fucking recruiters. They're all full of shit.
Yes, now I'm
They
full
all
of shit.
sell a bill of goods. It's all fucking fake. They make you promises.
I don't think I've ever used the term bill of goods in my life.
They sell you on all these things and they just fucking lie to you. Oh,
Honestly,
pieces of shit.
I'm really honest.
How
with
often
the
do you lie all the time just like them?
No, I've gone a different route than the other recruiters. And I don't know if that's why I have more success or whatever it is, but I tell them exactly what's going to happen and I tell them what it looks like. I legitimately don't care enough to make up lies to them, but they still join. So I guess
All
maybe
right, kid,
that's
here's the
the
deal.
secret sauce.
Here's the deal. You're going to enlist. You're going to go to
You're
boot
going to get a
camp.
bonus.
You're
You're going to
gonna
hate it, but it's 1 weekend a month. Suck it up, get the benefits, and call it a day.
You're gonna go to boot camp. You're gonna get screamed at for fucking 4 months. Then you're gonna get sent to Iraq, where you're gonna hate your life for 3 to 4 years straight. Then after that, you're gonna get a recruiter job, and you're gonna do absolutely
First
nothing
of all,
like me.
no one's going to Iraq anymore. Second of all, they don't scream at you at basic anymore. We're a kinder, gentler army.
That's full of
So,
shit.
all
What's
the
the
stuff
point?
I
What's the
dealt with
point of
isn't the
breaking
thing
you
anymore.
down to build you up?
You know what the
Why do
National
we
Guard
have to
does
be
now?
soft too?
The National Guard shows up at COVID testing stations and helps with that. The National Guard shows up during weather-related emergencies, and we show up to protect state capitals, and we stand in streets during riots, and that's about it. We're not what we used to be. So yes, the sell is a lot easier because I'm not lying to them. We're not in the Middle East anymore.
I'm not lying to them.
They get all the same shit I do with none of the cost.
Fantastic.
Go Guard. Hey, at least I get to retire when I'm 43.
I mean, yeah, that's a plus. Be on the lookout. Apparently, Robert and I are starting a new band. That won't happen, but we're thinking
are we
about
YouTube official?
it. Well, speaking of that, that is something. Before I do my family circle jerk, I'm going to address this quick. We probably should have addressed this at the beginning of the podcast. Maybe I will put this. No, I won't edit it. Forget it. We are
Quality.
on YouTube. We are also on Spotify. Okay. If you want to get notifications when these podcasts go up, because people keep whining, when is the podcast coming up? When is this happening? Blah, 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 blah. I didn't know the podcast was up. When did you post the podcast? It's like, look.
Sounds like you're picking on me specifically.
No, I'm not picking on you. I had multiple people be like, Jesus, you put that podcast up? When did that happen? I'm like, look, if you subscribe on one of these things and click on the notification button on the subscribe, they will tell you when it starts. And the cool thing about YouTube is they do this premiere thing now. So when I post it, if you get notifications, it'll say, boom, the Gentleman Fantasy Podcast is starting in 60 seconds. Then they literally do a 60-second countdown. Like if you clicked on it, there'd be a 60-second countdown, and then it starts. And since it's a premiere, you can't just like fast forward through it. It's like it's actually airing. So when the premiere starts, if the episode's an hour and 2 minutes long, for the first hour and 2 minutes, you can't fast forward. You can only go backwards because it's
That's
live.
cool.
That's kind of neat.
It's like when you get like a pay-per-view boxing match, and if it's still happening, you have to watch the whole thing. You can't go back and start from the beginning. That's cool as hell.
So I thought that was kind of neat. But so I'm going to continue to post us on YouTube for the time being, since we have all the episodes on there and there's a history and all that kind of stuff. But the Spotify situation is a lot easier if you have Spotify, which I know there's a decent amount of people who listen to this that also listen to Last Podcast on the Left. If you listen to Last Podcast on the Left, I know you have Spotify because it's the only way you can listen to that podcast. So subscribe on Spotify, and it's not just on Spotify, it's on Google Podcasts. I think it's on 7 platforms. Most of them I've never heard of. But when you register on Anchor for Spotify, it opens up a bunch of different avenues. I'm having issues figuring out how to put the RSS feed on certain things. Like I would put it on Apple Podcasts, except I have to have an Apple account to do that, and I don't have one, and I have no interest
Guys,
in
the
having
point
one.
is we're getting bigger. We're learning how to do these things as we go.
Yes.
I was told if we get a few 100 more followers, we will get a 5-second ad on Pornhub that'll show between one out of every, I think, 1,000 porns watched during that given day. So keep an eye out
Perfect.
for that if you're in there.
Yes.
It'll
It'll be Robert wearing a romper.
No. We're
the-
not going to have video. It's an ad before they watch the porn. I'm not in the porn.
Oh,
Yeah.
but
I mean, I don't understand who would.
all the ads.
Here's the thing. Why would you put an ad for a fantasy football podcast in, like I'm going to click out of a porn to go listen to a podcast? Like, yeah, you know what? I'm out of this. I'm just going to go listen to the gentleman. Sorry,
I got a few
You're
notes
going to do
here.
Family Circle, right?
Yeah, I got a few notes here though. Okay.
Delete all of that, by the way.
No. I was looking at some demographics. Okay.
About porn?
No, you see, the Anchor app, which is the podcast hosting app for Spotify, they take statistics. Okay. We have monetarily gained $0 from sponsorships
Excellent.
so far. Perfect, right? We are on 6 platforms. Again, I don't know what all 6 platforms are. I do know we're on Spotify and
2.
Google Podcasts. Okay.
Who's pirating our shit?
I don't know, but this gets good. By the way, demographics, gender. 94% of our listeners are male. 6% are female.
Ooh.
We have a female listener.
I was going to say, how does that math work out if we have less than 10 followers? Are we up to the double digits? I don't think you can have a 6% without being in at least
our estimated
18
audience.
or something.
Our estimated audience is 9. So I don't know. Here's another one for you. Age demographic. 65% is between 35 and 44.
Right.
Okay. 6% is between 45 and 59.
How do I reach these kids?
I'm interested to know this. There's also 29% that are between the ages of 28 and 34. So
All right.
I'm trying to figure out some math on this here.
Oh, don't hurt yourself.
But really, is there any... Aren't I like the youngest person in this league?
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So how do we get 29% of our listens between the ages of 28 and 34? Oh, I guess I am 34. Never mind.
Wait, how old is Joby?
Oh, yeah. He's my age, too.
Travis?
So we're 34. Travis is 34 also. Okay, that makes sense. Okay. Now, 45 and 59. There's nobody in the league that's over 45. So, interesting, right? 42% of our users use an Android phone. 37% on an iPhone. 5% use a smart speaker. 5% on the web. And 11% other. I don't know what that is. What are the other options?
They stand in your basement and listen to you talk? I don't know.
All right. And my favorite statistic of all, 95% of our listens have come from the United States. 5% from the Philippines.
Holy shit. We have an accidental listener. I mean, all they have to do is like click
That-
it, right?
that
So maybe
might
they
have
just
been-
like stumbled across it on something. It was,
Which is hilarious because everybody keeps saying it's impossible to find that podcast because we're so low on the lists that when you
Right.
search it, you have to search exactly for it.
so somewhere in the Philippines, somebody has this program that like speed clicks through everything just to fuck with like metrics or whatever,
I don't
gather
know.
data.
I'm assuming
They
that's
clicked on
where
our podcast.
I'm assuming that's where our one female follower came from.
Yeah, but she's hot.
I bet she is.
Yeah.
Is she Joni hot or slightly more?
The way I imagine it, if she's from the Philippines, no, not Joni Hot.
Okay, all right. Just remember that.
Ha! You all thought I was going to say yes, didn't you? Zing.
Now, if it was Brazil,
I need more whiskey.
definitely
Anyways,
be.
do your family circle thing. Also, I need more whiskey.
All right, family circle. Now you're gonna be proud of me, I think. Okay. Last week, Nicole had to go to. She plays volleyball on Wednesday nights. I was putting the babies to bed. I had the two older kids. They were getting kind of rambunctious. And I was like, all right, what can I do that I can kind of monitor what they're doing and also put these babies to bed? So I was, and Evan has been fascinated with, we have a Alexa, I don't know what the fuck you call it, a Echo show.
Echo Dot?
We have an Echo show in the bedroom, in our bedroom and in the kitchen. And for some reason, Evan's been really obsessed with watching recipe videos. So he's been, hey Alexa, show me chicken noodle soup. And then he'll watch like recipe videos of chicken noodle soup or like pancake recipe videos, just ridiculous things, okay? So he's been getting really fascinated with this Alexa. And I was like, all right, Alexa, play Foo Fighters videos. So the two kids are in my bedroom, huddled around, and Vince and Evan, watching Foo Fighters videos.
Sweet.
And now Evan's new obsession is watching Foo Fighters videos.
Oh, yeah. There's much worse things a kid could be doing.
See, that's what I said. All the good ones. His favorite is Everlong because he thinks it's really cool that at the end of the video, their heads pop out of their mouths. You know, Pat and Nate's heads pop out, and then Taylor's the bed just like breaks away, and the drum set comes out of the bed, and Taylor's wig comes off.
I don't know. The airplane sort of reenactment on Learn to Fly.
We
was
see now
good.
that one, the kids loved.
That's a great one.
But Vince did not understand what was going on with the coffee.
Sure.
In the Learn to Fly video. So I was like, well, you got to understand.
Well, put some weed in his milk and
no.
figure it out.
He goes, well, why are they acting like that? And I was like, well, at the beginning of the video, the two guys, the cleaners, they were kind of goofing off and they had candy. And then the pilot or the stewardess steward or whatever was coming, and they hid the coffee, or they hid the candy in the coffee maker, and the candy gave them all a sugar high, and that's why they were acting like that. So then,
look at you being all PC parent.
So since then, Vince has been saying, "Dad, can we put candy in our coffee? I want to act like that. I want people's heads to look like cheeseburgers."
Meanwhile, Nicole's like, "What the hell are they talking
right?
about?"
No, it's okay. So then, so the Everlong video, the monkey wrench.
I go
video,
to one volleyball game, and
right.
this is what I come back.
The monkey wrench video, My Hero. Evan likes The Pretender because of the.
Did you let him watch Low?
They're never watching Low.
Okay, I was gonna say, where do you draw the line?
That's where I draw the line.
Weird.
I kept it at all of the, like the one we watched that one. I kept it at all of like the normal videos. The one's kind of racy though because there's a lot of making out in that. And Vince was like, "Why are they?" I'm like, "Just don't ask questions.
You'll find out in 10 years."
So, anyways, the other day I come home from work, and Nicole is like, "What is the deal with their obsession with Foo Fighters videos?" And I'm
Have
not
you two
so.
never met? How does she
Yeah,
not
I was
already know
like-
the answer to that?
She's like, I'm not so sure about the Everlong video, and I'm like, what do you mean? I'm like, what's wrong with that? That's a really good video. It's funny. They're all funny. And she's like, well, I'm kind of concerned because Evan keeps talking about their heads popping out of their mouths. And I'm like, have you watched the video? And she's like, well, yeah, I've seen parts of it. I'm like, have you watched the video? They're like costumes. It's just like it's their costumes. Evan knows their costumes. And she's like, I'm concerned that the kids are going to be like scared of that or something. I'm like, Jesus Christ, they're fucking costumes. Big deal, right? And she's like, well, and what about the Learn to Fly? I'm like, look, I explained it to them this way, and she's like, I just don't know if they should be watching this. I'm like, no. This is great. They're starting to enjoy the Foo Fighters. That's what I'm looking for here.
Good work, Kyle. Start them young.
Mm-hmm.
You know they're going to stumble upon low eventually, though. Good luck explaining that.
Yeah, I hope that never happens.
One of my favorite songs by them, though.
It's an all right song. I like it.
That shit was awesome.
Yeah. Well, then, this is another episode of the Gentleman Fantasy Football Podcast. Until next week.
Like how you're looking off into the distance, like, there it is. There it went.
I'm gonna
Life
go watch
is fleeting.
I'm gonna
just
go
like
watch
this podcast.
some Foo Fighters videos. By the way, fun fact:
Use your Alexa to listen to the fantasy football show.
you can do that too. You can.
5% of listeners do it through their Echo Dot.
As another fun fact on Spotify, if we were like a normal podcast and recorded this in segments, I could split the segments by having it a music and audio podcast, and we could split the segments by putting songs in between. Anything that's on Spotify. All licensed material is A-OK as long as it's on Spotify. Which I thought was really cool until I realized that we'd actually have to edit this into segments and then put them together and then put songs in it.
It
It's
already
like a lot
takes
of
you a
work.
week to get this thing posted.
I know.
Let's not
Mhm.
promise them anything less than the mediocrity they already deal with. Can somebody go and tell any friend, I don't care, a parent, a child, to follow us and subscribe so we can at least get to 10? Do we have to be at 9 for the rest of time? I feel
We're
like we were
probably
there all
going to be
year.
at 9 for the rest of the time. We really will.
Even the Philippine guy, like that's what it took just to get us to 9.
Yeah, right.
Or girl, sorry. Somewhere out there, there's a Filipino girl that loves us.
Well, and you know what? And I was thinking about this. For as long as it takes me to edit some of this stuff, because let me tell you, last week, 2 weeks ago now, the reason why it took so long for that one is when we were talking to Aaron, there was just an insane lag in between when he heard us and him replying. So like we were having full conversations and I edited things to push it back together.
So here's the problem.
Yes.
I almost forgot to mention this, and it's a good thing I listened, and then I received a lot of angry phone calls. So the hotline you had mentioned during the last podcast, where you said dial 1-800-FUCK-FANTASY-FOOTBALL. The problem with that is when you dial a 1-800 number and go to type in fuck fantasy football, you actually just type in fuck fan. And that's an actual number that leads to a line that's very inappropriate. There was a lot of angry listeners that called that 800 number and did not get our podcast. So moving forward, let's be a little more careful with our jokes, because that got off the rails real quick. Especially our Filipino girl back out there in the Philippines.
So that's why she was listening.
Right. So that's actually how we got that subscriber is yeah.
Well,
Anyways.
all right. By the way, another fun fact, on Spotify, we can set up a designated messaging system so people can actually send us messages with questions, and we can answer them on air through that thing. But that's something I got to figure out how to do.
Again, that's promising a lot, considering what we're willing to deliver.
Well, anyway, until next time, I'm Kyle. That's Robert. It's the Gentleman Fantasy Football Podcast. Do not call the hotline number.
We'll get a new one.
It would get weird. Use that 1% promo discount over at Sugar Rush Low Boutique.
Come to my store. Let's hang.
Yeah, I
I have a fucking store now, guys. Come check it out.
I'll get there within the next 2 or 3 years. Promise. 100% for a fact.
You'll wait till I need an electrician.
No, you'll call us. I'm not stupid.
I think he died. I haven't seen him in a while.
Huh. How about that? It's the Gentleman Fantasy Football Podcast. You guys have yourself a week.
Peace.